This is Omni Sports Breakfast. Sports with Kevin McCollum and MKT.
You can be like Utsile there, who said, does Mark consult other journalists on making up his vote as the SA delegate? We'll ask Mark next time he's on. Again, you can get us, of course, on 0788 777716 should you want to be a part of the conversation. That Mark, of course, is Mark Gleeson, who has recently just joined us to talk about Ballon d'Or. I mean, this is a man who's seen it all. How does it work? I thought he gave a really, really interesting answer on how he felt. He doesn't feel Libya have been punished harshly enough. You know, a lot of people have gone, oh, thank goodness, $50,000, this and that. He's going, no, this is nonsense. I like that. And his voice matters.
Yeah, perhaps a suspension from all competition. Yeah, all African competition. Just suspend them from all African competition, then let's see what happens. Then suddenly, oh God, hang on, let's not do that anymore. And when he's talking about it being a very African thing, I was in Australia for the 2003 World Cup, and I was staying in the same hotel as the English rugby team, and it was England against Australia in the final of that Rugby World Cup. And there was a tabloid in Sydney called The Telegraph, and they literally encouraged fans, Australians, to come stand outside the hotel, make a noise to keep the guys awake at night. They were printing posters, the anti-Johnny Wilkinson territory on the beach out in Manly, and the noise. I mean, it was incredible. I mean, I was staying at the back of the hotel, and I could still hear them at 2-3 in the morning.
Absolutely unbelievable. Listen, someone else who's getting loud is Steve, who's going to join us in a little bit. Let's listen to a voice note here from a Tabo, a voice note addressing Man United's foibles at the moment, before we bring on Steve.
Morning, guys. I'm not sure. I just want to chime in on this Ten Hag sacking thing. I'm not sure how I feel about it, because I've always been a big proponent of holding on to a manager at least for 10 games. Yes, even though you lose 4 out of 9 games, I'll still wait for the 10th game, because what you don't want is to be another Chelsea. We're talking about a football club that was owned by a Russian oligarch. I mean, how low can you go? You don't want to be there. Very uncivilized club. But this Ruben Amorim thing, it's quite clear what's happening there. We probably started speaking with him after the Liverpool or the Spurs loss. Let's just see. Let's see what happens. I'm not sure how I feel about that 3-4-3 thing. We've always been a back 4 team,
All right, we've heard from Tabo. We have Steve on the line. Steve, what's on your mind, pal?
Tabo's an idiot, basically. I mean, it's like keep him for 10 games. I mean, Man United knew after the last season that they should have got rid of Ten Hag. And everybody's skirting around the issue of what a genius bunch Ineos is in Sir Ratcliffe. And it's very palpable to see that management has actually ruined this club. And the fact that we even know who these owners are is an embarrassment. They knew that the worst thing that happened to Man United was that they won the FA Cup. Yeah. Because if they had lost the FA Cup, he would have been gone. And actually, they should have known. This was fluke. It was lucky. And it was very clear that Ten Hag had no fucking idea. It's absolutely clear to my mind that they knew then, and that they kept him on longer than they should have. What they should have done was gone out into the market and got Tuchel, who's now gone to the England team, right? That's first. Second, they've wasted half a season with the same man in charge. I mean, last night's result was unbelievable. They played like a team possessed. Like, they were so happy that Ten Hag was gone. It was actually hard to believe that Casemiro could score 2 goals the way he did. And the fact that United had about 20 shots at goal, they could have won 10-2. So it tells you something about the players' level of or desire now that coach is gone. And I'm actually pissed off with the players as a Man United fan. But to keep him for any games of the season was pathetic. And Ineos, in all their genius, should have known that as management experts, which is very clear that they actually aren't management experts. I mean, I'm seeing how all their teams are failing. I mean, you guys probably know better than me, but Ineos are not the answer or the praise to everybody's answer to everybody's praise that they think they are. I mean, I don't know what you guys think, but I certainly don't believe that they actually know what they're doing. They should have done this ages ago.
Look, it's clear it's gone very, very wrong. The fans are not happy at Nice, and that's been a while now. And they're not happy at that football club, and that's been a completely failed project where they'd sort of proposed themselves as another moniker, another challenger to sort of PSG. That's gone way, way left. So hopefully that's not a thing to come. And I know Kev is a big cycling guy, and Ineos are obviously involved in the cycling, Kev.
Yeah, so Ineos, which used to be Team Sky, had Chris Froome, who won the Tour de France, Geraint Thomas won the Tour de France, and Brad Wiggins. But ever since Ineos have become involved in all this, a lot of these sports, so they're involved in sailing, put a lot of money into the America's Cup.
And got a hiding.
Absolutely got smashed by New Zealand. Right, let's go to football. So they bought Lausanne in Switzerland. Then they tried to change the logo so they could put some of the Ineos logo in the logo. That went to crap. I mean, everyone just lost the crap there. Then they went to Nice thinking they'd learned lessons from Lausanne, but then they did the same nonsense there. At United, the management is, I don't know how to put it, but we talked about it almost like being the Soviet Union. You just keep hearing, you just keep hearing about the mistakes and how the Secretary General's in poor health and how he's going to live. And it was just lily-livered. I love that phrase from Mark Leeson, lily-livered decision-making.
So, Steve, listen, I like your fire here, but then from what you're saying, you must be really worried then about Ruben Amorim, or do you believe Ineos, are you giving Ineos a chance now, having seen what they did by keeping Ten Hag for longer than you believe they should have?
Look, I don't know. I only know that this guy's got a good record in Portugal. I don't know enough about him. He's done well in a very low-tier league, that's first. But secondly, of course, and Tubble was correct in saying that they've probably been speaking to him for a while. It's not like they woke up on Monday morning after the West Ham loss and went, we need to speak to a new coach. So they've clearly had this in their planning. And I think Ten Hag was actually unlucky that although they were already 1 down in the West Ham game and the penalty was dubious to say the least, but drawing or losing to West Ham is just not good enough. 14th in the league is not good enough. And thinking that he was going to get them out of this doldrum after spending £600 million is a circus. So I don't know if you guys actually agree with me or not, but everybody's looking at Ineos and Sir what's his name?
Sir Jim Ratcliffe.
Jump off a cliff is probably what I'd call him. But everybody's looking at him as the savior, and I just don't believe it to be true. And the fact is, it's about the players. And the players that United have got are crap. The fact that Ten Hag has played 5 different playing systems over the course of the seaseason, 3 at the back, 4-4-2. He should be playing 4-4-2, not a 4-3-3. But that's another discussion. But he hasn't bought great players, so their scouting is a problem. They need to fix that. The manager is just half of the problem, and they need to get rid of half of the players. But to think that Ineos is going to be the savior of Manchester United, I think is idiotic. It's absolutely idiotic.
If you want to be like Stephen, get on the show and have your unpopular opinion. We'll be doing this frequently on the show. But hold on, 0788 777716. What else you got for us?
I've got 2 more things. Firstly, one of my mates is super pissed off at you in particular about your dislike for Formula One, and he actually wants to take you on a ride around a track and put you in a fast car and let you know what it's like to go 300 kilometers an hour if you've got the balls for it. But that's another story.
Well, tell him my father used to be part of the Ferrari club, so I've been around a track at a little quicker than that before.
All right, so it's time.
But I was young. I'm old now. Tell him I'm old.
All right, we'll do. The second thing I want to address with you guys is how everybody's skirting around the Sia Khaleesi issue. Now, everybody's made him out to be this Mandela-esque character. And granted, he is the only captain of a World Cup winning team that's standing in a picture with all the World Cup winners who've won it twice. I mean, it's phenomenal. He's an unbelievable rugby player. But everybody's romanticizing. Even my children are romanticizing this love with him and Rachel Khaleesi. Now, if you compare him to Mandela, who had an affair on his wife, which is well documented, to say that Sia potentially, and again, I can't confirm or deny this, but the reputation that rugby players have. I mean, I know a story about a bullet on an aeroplane, all right? And if you don't know who Bullet is, I'm referring to James Dalton. And these stories went around about rugby players, about cricket players. There's fortunes of them, right? But to think that their marriage just dissolved out of nothing, I think is a bit wild. There must be a case of infidelity, and it'll probably come out in the press soon. But I don't know what you guys think. Maybe I'm far off the tracks here, but he's human. He's got women throwing their panties at him all over the world. Just like Tiger Woods, and he's human. So I think yes, he's a great rugby player, but maybe he fell to the charms of some beautiful blonde. I don't know, another beautiful blonde apart from Rachel Khaleesi. But to make it out like they had this wonderful romance and everything's fantastic, and all of a sudden their marriage just didn't work. And I mean, I know marriages don't work, but my guess is that there is some level of foul play here. I don't know what you guys think.
It's been coming for a while. There's some quotes have emerged from podcast Rachel Khaleesi did with it called The African CEO or something about relationships, and she's talking about a pet peeve, how he wasn't present in the marriage at dinners. He was away for 3-4 months, and then always has issues about him getting DMs and getting stalked by women. So he's now switched off comments on his Instagram posts because he knows, Siya Khaleesi knows, actually going to come from him, and things come out. You can never hide anything these days. Things come out.
Hey, listen.
Do you not think, though, there was this post on TikTok or Instagram, some woman put up a post saying all these guys, including, I think it was DJ Cubs at a Small, there were a whole lot of them, and Siya Khaleesi's name was in there, and everybody was responding, going, it's Siya as well, I can't believe it. But she made this claim, and unfortunately, in the age of social media, you can do that. You can just say anything, and it could potentially be true. But why would you say that? Where there's smoke, there's fire, is my view.
No one just gets divorced. That's it's a hell of a take, and I would have to agree that something happened. Nobody just gets divorced, and it's never just about that moment. It's a concatenation of events. Hey, Siya Khaleesi, he's not Jesus Christ. He's just a rugby player. Maybe we should contextualize it. Tell your kids that, Steve.
Yeah, I think that's fair, and I think too many people are literally skirting around the issue and making out like this was the great love affair, the great romance of the 21st century. I just don't believe that. Sportsmen are human. People are acting in different ways, and to put Siya up on this pedestal, which he deserves, he absolutely deserves. He's come from nothing. He's risen to greatness, but he's human, and I think people need to accept that as well, rather than saying that this was just a dissolution. And maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But for all intents and purposes, it's possible. And I guess the following weeks will tell.
That was Steve with an unpopular opinion. Steve, appreciate you, pal. We'll look forward to having you back on.
Anytime. I'm happy to fight with you guys on a daily basis. I don't necessarily agree with everything you say. I agree with a lot of what you say. But let's put our cards on the table. Let's be honest about this shit. Because I think there's too many sports shows who are all like, yeah, it's nice and it's this and it's that. And I often, when I watch sport and a lot of the TV programs, I call it Captain Obvious. At halftime they come on the TV and they go, yeah, they're playing really well. Yes, we can see they're playing really well, dude.
I have eyes too. Yeah. All right, Steve. Yeah. Appreciate
Thanks,
you, Pop.
guys.
All right. Okay, there we go. Unpopular opinion of the day. We had Steve on this morning. You can be part of the conversation as well. 0788 777716. Let's answer the question of the day as we head out for the morning. Who is the only batsman to record 400 in a single international test match?
The great Brian Lara.
West Indian icon, of course, a left-handed maestro, Brian Lara. For this morning, we have done our bidding. That is it for today's show. Join us tomorrow as we bring you the greatest of sport from Africa and around the world.
Listen live and on demand.
Welcome to Omni Sport.